It's 97.9 The Beat, DFW's hip hop station with Vita Loca in the morning, J. Cruz.
What up?
Jazzy Black.
Yo, yo.
And man, we have a special guest in the building today, Mr. James Prince Senior. Do you like to be? Did they put senior on when we address you, senior?
Oh yeah. How you doing?
He okay with that. He okay.
I am
He's okay
senior.
with-
Yeah,
you are
I
okay
am
with-
him. Yeah.
Yes, you are him. Congratulations on your book, Mr. Prince. I mean, I read somewhere where Pilar was saying that you mostly women buy books, right, Pilar?
That's right. Usually, yeah.
Women are mostly the consumption of book buyers, but you brought up a certain type of genre of men seeking something that I guess they're finding in your book.
Yeah, I think they are. It's really a special type, but I hope all type will embrace it because it's something there for all of them.
Now, before we go any further, the book is called The Art and Science of Respect. Now, this is a memoir. When did you decide you wanted to do this? Like, how many years ago were you toying with this, and what happened? Did the Pilar come along and say, baby, let's write a book? How did this come about?
Now, I've been working on the book since 2014. You know, it's been a few years, and I didn't rush it. I just let it like naturally flow. You know what I mean? And wrapped it up. 2017, beginning of 2018, and here we are.
Was there a time where you like forgot things and then remembered things? Or like, oh, I got to go back and add this? Because I mean, you've had such an illustrious career. Like, I could see you sitting down trying to remember everything, but not remembering everything at once.
Yeah, most definitely. You know what I mean? I had a long journey, so
Right.
piece by piece things would pop up here and there. And,
So you take a quick, write this down. I just
Yeah.
remembered this.
Exactly, recorded it.
Already.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing for you to write in that book? Something that you wrote that you not necessarily may not have wanted to share, but you did share with us? Was there anything in there in that nature?
Well, you know, I think one of the hardest things, you know, was sharing my personal goals and different things that I accomplished for, you know, a lot of people that's close to me. I didn't want it to feel like I was boasting or nothing like that, but I wanted to share those things to, you know, kind of inspire and give a person somewhat of a roadmap on, you know, to motivate them to things they should do for loved ones and people that's close to them.
You know, what I got mostly out of, you know, the little bit, I'm going to be honest with you, I skimmed through the book, but what I got mostly out of it is like, you are a man of stature that knew that you didn't get there by yourself.
Oh, most definitely. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you're definitely bringing to light how a lot of people feel like when you see that one guy, he's the one guy you see. But you have a team, and you know how to treat your team and respect your team to get the work out of your team. And that's a really big deal, right? That's how you got where you are right now. Am I not?
Oh yeah,
mistaken?
no, you're absolutely right. You know, it's no I in we, and I definitely had some real soldiers and soldierettes, you know what I mean, in my life from day one that contributed to my success.
You talk about
Go ahead, Jazzy.
Yeah, Jazz.
you talk about being a leader and having to submit. How did you get to a point where you felt vulnerable enough to want to share your experiences with people? Because a lot of people say, you know, you don't want to give away too much game, but you kind of just put it all out there in the book.
Yeah, no, I definitely tried to put it all out there because I want to be an inspiration. You know what I mean? I didn't want to hold anything back at a opportunity. You know what I mean? Moment like this where this is like I'm leaving a part of my legacy behind.
Okay.
And I really want to do a good job at doing that.
There's no better way to tell a story than if you tell it yourself.
Yeah, raw and uncut.
And I personally believe that, you know, I'm a East Coast boy, right? So I've been down here for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Got acquainted with the whole Southern vibe. I mean, I've heard of rap a lot. I didn't specifically know about you, Mr. Prince, in that detail, right? So once I moved here, I started learning, and then the whole Drake and Pusha T incident happened. And a lot of people, if you go online, were on there like, who is this guy? And then other people are backing up like, bro, first off, respect is due. That's Jay Prince. He's one of the pioneers. So let's say for people not from the South, they necessarily might not know who you are. And this book is going to let them know who you are and what you've accomplished and what you did for the whole Southern movement. Because back in the day, if you wasn't from New York or this coast, you wasn't getting no props. And you single-handedly opened the doors for most Southern rappers, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I think this book, you know, they're going to learn those things and much more. Right. Because I went above and beyond the call of duty where this book is concerned, with a lot of intimate, personal episodes. So, right. You know, everybody that want my glory, you going to have opportunity to know my story, and you may change your mind.
Yeah, and watch what you say when you talk about Prince.
So when a person, what type of individual would you say needs to read this book? Like somebody starting their own career, or entrepreneur, or rapper? I mean, who needs the book? A husband?
Yeah, I think my book, I think everybody. You know what I mean? I think it's going to cover every aspect of everyone's careers, entrepreneurs, rappers, just normal human beings, 9-to-5ers, you name it, you know what I mean? Because I'm a person that figured out how to turn nothing into something. And, you know, I think at least majority of the people in the world, you know, start out that way. They start out, you know, poor, you know, in poverty, and they're going to really be able to relate to this in some aspect. And as well as those who, you know, may have had a push start. So, you know, it's going to cover a lot of grounds.
In the beginning of your book, you told the story about you having your son in your arms. What kind of future at that moment, you know, in time when you were talking about you were getting ready to make that transition, when you had your son in your arms, what kind of future did you envision for him to have?
Well, when I had, at that particular time, you're talking about the chapter where the closet was concerned. You know, I didn't even really have a vision. It was that moment I started wanting to have a vision. You know what I mean? I was out there in the streets playing Russian roulette to a certain extent, not even loving myself or feeling as if I would be here. You know what I mean? And it was that moment that led to you know, my transition. I was in that closet having a conversation with God because, you know, during my whole journey in the streets, you know, I always been a praying man. And my prayer was, Lord, before you take my freedom or take my life, give me a sign. And in that closet, I'm having that conversation because I'm like, okay, I done got that sign that I asked for. Right. And I need to either be obedient or be a fool. And I chose to be obedient.
Amen.
Have you ever thought about being a pastor?
Yeah, most definitely. You know what I mean? Most definitely I had those thoughts.
Because I definitely could see, you know, you have a congregation, a lot of attendance in your congregation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to pay my tithes right now. Okay, so let's talk about, like, you're a man of, like, you got your hands in many things, and now this boxing world that you're into. Did you hear about Adrian Broner getting beat up in your city this past weekend?
Yeah, it wasn't really a beat up situation.
No, it wasn't. Let's get the scoop.
I did hear about it.
Well, what happened? And do you feel like maybe Adrian Broner is somebody that you could sit down and help go the right way? Because it seems like he's just kind of going the opposite direction of success.
Yeah, I hope that take place. I actually just left Adrian Broner, and you know, we a real cool brother. You know what I mean? He just need a solid OG in his life.
As yourself.
I could help it.
Are you saying, are you willing to take on that responsibility, or is that just, you're just saying, you know, like, is that something that you're interested in?
If he would embrace me, you know, I would take on that responsibility. I would share wisdom with him.
Nice.
Wow. I have a son that's irresponsible. Could you take on that responsibility as well?
Oh my
His
God.
name is Dylan. I can send him with Pilar. She knows him. she can vouch for him.
Yeah. Me and Lil Dylan will get along.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Now, I want to talk to you about like Jay-Z and people that have said, you're a man of your word. Like if Jay Prince says something, you don't really need it in contract. As long as he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. Is that something that that's been that way since the beginning?
Yeah. I tell everybody it was from keeping my word where I was able to even establish Rap-A-Lot, because in the beginning when I took on my brother, I done this for my brother. His name was Sir Rap-A-Lot. My brother ended up getting 20-some years, and I was left with the other members, and I had to keep my word with them, and I was blessed beyond my expectation. So I'm a man that really believe in having a word. I feel like your word follow you everywhere you go, and just so happened, when I was in New York and around the world, I established being a man of my word.
Right, and that means a whole lot, especially in this business. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, I was just hearing a little buzz about Drake leaving Cash Money, going to Universal. Is there any truth to that?
Not that I know of. I mean, they always been. It's a unity there. You know what I mean? With Young Money, Cash Money, my son, myself. We all are partners where Drake is concerned.
Did you have anything to do with Lil Wayne and Baby getting back together? Because I feel like you're the Holy Grail. So their situation is resolved. What did you have to do with that, Mr. Prince?
No, I think that's a situation that came to a head, amongst itself. You know what I mean? That came to a head. And right now what's important to me is our situation coming to a head, which is moving forward at a good pace with the executives over in Universal.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's why I was feeling, because when I saw that they said he got a deal with Universal, I did see your previous interview. You said that you were heading in the right direction with the meetings with Universal. So
right.
We did see that they say Drake signed to Universal. So I'm thinking to myself, if Prince wasn't happy, there wouldn't have been no signature.
Exactly.
Right. So
do you
obviously,
ever wish that you would have just signed Drake to Rap-A-Lot and just left it like that?
No, I don't really wish that because I done everything for a reason. You know what I mean? That was at a period where, my son and Lil Wayne, was trying to create a movement, amongst themselves. So I don't regret that, because that's something both of them wanted to do. Now, if I had to do it all over again, I would have Universal to give me my money directly. Yeah.
So they're probably gonna think I'm crazy for asking you this, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Go for it, Jazz.
So I know you talked about like some crazy stuff going on with Al Gore and like them trying to, pretty much trying to like set little stuff up and like this whole crazy conspiracy going on. And you seem to have like a open mind as far as having a worldview and like the perception of the world and where we're headed. Do you think like with like the gun laws that are going on right now, and even with like the race division that's going on, do you feel like maybe there's like some hidden agenda, maybe that the government is trying to push, or that there are people out here that are trying to push toward like this world that they see us living in?
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like it's some kind of conspiracies going on where government is concerned.
I knew you was woke, Mr. Prince.
Yeah, no, you on to something there.
Okay.
She's big on the whole Illuminati thing and conspiracies.
I'm not saying I'm big on the Illuminati, but
it's fine.
I still, but you know what I'm saying, you gotta keep your eyes open. I was just curious.
All right, well, Mr. Prince, what's next for Rap-A-Lot? Because I know you're making your mark in the boxing world, but like, what is next for Rap-A-Lot? Because I honestly feel like they're taking a back seat in a sense. Like I don't really see the forefront. Who's the forefront for Rap-A-Lot right now?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I tell everybody I'm in the Hall of Fame, but what's next on my radar is movies. You know what I mean? I want to do a movie about my life and this book. So.
Oh, who would play you, Mr. Prince?
Good question. Good question. We hadn't figured that one out yet.
Okay. Just get a good actor, please. Not just some rapper or something like that. Don't do that. We don't
So
want a
is this in
Lifetime
the-
movie. None of that.
Is this in the making though? Is this something that you sat down with with the big wigs, and so you're going full throttle on this?
Yeah, it's been a conversation piece. I've been talking to a few big wigs and just hadn't chose the person I feel is qualified yet.
Okay. Well, I want Pilar in the movie.
Yes.
He don't
Come
know.
on, be it. Yes.
He's like, "Ah."
Hey, Pilar!
Thanks,
I'm
babe.
over here trying to be your manager.
Pilar, do you need a publicist? 'Cause we got you over here.
Thank you, honey.
No, I'm just happy my friend is happy, and I'm happy that you, Jay Prince, had put this book out for anybody needing any type of guidance from a real man. The Art and Science of Respect is a definite must read, a memoir of James Prince, and we'll definitely be looking out for the movie. But get the book now. If you're not a reader, get the audio book. This is something that you can ride down the street with and get you a lot of wisdom from a man who knows exactly what he's talking about, James Prince. We appreciate you for coming in, Mr. Prince.
Hey, thanks for having me.